a safe space for St. Louis to learn about soccer. This is Soccer 101 with Michelle Smallman and Moon Valjean.
Welcome into Soccer 101 alongside Moon Valjean. I'm Michelle Smallman. We call Soccer 101 the safe place for St. Louis to learn about soccer, but we've been learning about soccer for several months now, Moon. Now it's time to actually watch some soccer. We are one day away from St. Louis City SC's very first match at Austin FC. It's Saturday, February 25th at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. And Moon, I can't believe we're finally here. After what feels like years of buildup, we are on the precipice of the first match.
It really is exciting. This is the weekend, and I saw something from Taylor Twellman a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago, and he said, if you would have told me 5 years ago that I'd be sitting in a $470 million stadium in downtown St. Louis watching a professional MLS team represented by representing St. Louis, I'd have told you were crazy. And dude, I second that motion from Taylor. I never, ever thought we'd be here this quickly and this confidently, man. I mean, I don't know about you. I've been down the stadium this last week and I was blown away even from the improvements that I saw from a month or two ago. And I'm freaking excited. I mean, I got my Together Credit Union, like a credit card thing, so I could get 10% off at the merch store, because I walked into the merch store and was like, holy crap, even the merch store is like space age, brilliantly thought of. The scarf wall, the hat wall, they got the shirts. So like I've been down to the basement and the shops and stuff in like the Arsenal Stadium and Old Trafford and Manchester and all the big ones in England. And I've seen like the custom shops where they make your shirts, the custom shirts. City SC has it upstairs in a glass room, so you can watch them do it. You can watch them making the custom shirts, and just like little stuff like that, getting to watch that, it makes it just such a cool experience. And not just a cool experience for me as like a soccer nerd, but like as a dad who's trying to get his kids really behind this squad so that they can be huge City fans decades from now, taking their kids to games. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I've really thought of all these little things to make it a fun family atmosphere. And I am just thrilled. I told the kids yesterday that, listen, this weekend, Saturday, 7 p.m., there are no plans. Your phones are off. The Xboxes are off. We won't be doing anything except for sitting down as a family and watching St. Louis City SC take on Austin FC in this first MLS match. And everybody's actually freaking excited about it. They're like, are you taking us to the home opener or what?
Yeah. So I'm in New York, obviously. And I'm so excited. It was so funny, Moon, because I have every St. Louis team in my phone. I have the schedule synced to my phone. Hosting a morning show in St. Louis for a long time, you need to know what games are coming up. And I'm clicking through and I'm like, oh, spring training. Oh, the Blue. Oh, my God. We're here. We're here already. There's a St. Louis City SC game on Saturday in my phone, and I couldn't believe it. But so I'm here. I'm excited about it in New York. I'm, of course, going to be tuned in on Apple TV. Give me the temperature check in St. Louis, because as you mentioned, this has been a long time coming. So tell me what the vibe is around the city.
People are psyched. All the bars have all their plans, all the supporter groups, they're all starting. And even this week, they're going to be just flooding all the places from Union Station to Amsterdam to the tap room. I mean, everybody's like got their planned spot as to where they're going to be. The weather's been kind of up and down, but for the most part, like, abnormally warm. So everybody's really looking forward to March 4th. Like as of now, looking like a pretty beautiful and mild sort of weekend to have this kind of thing go down. I mean, we would be out there in the snow and the rain anyway, just as excited, but everybody is looking forward to it. The kids, listen, if my kids are stoked on something a few weeks in advance, that's unheard of. So clearly the promotion, everything, all the energy has done its job and has pushed all the way into late February, early March. And this is it. Now there's some wild things to be looking out for too. I know a lot of people that listen to the podcast are old pros, and some people are brand new and still trying to figure out what the offsides rule is. But there's a lot to look forward to. You mentioned that the game tomorrow is going to be broadcast. We got a 7:30 start. It's against Austin FC. It is on Apple TV Plus, and it is free tomorrow, even if you don't get that season pass. It looks like the only two free ones on Apple TV as far as St. Louis goes are away game in Austin, on February 25th, and then against Portland in Portland on March 11th. Otherwise, you got to have a season pass. But the cool thing about that season pass is it comes with a whole bunch of extra stuff. You can pick your home team. It'll send you updates, all of that, and there's no blackout dates. So no surprises there. Austin FC, I believe this is only their third year, and last year they really pushed pretty hard. And honestly, if you look at all the different websites, all the different pundits that are talking about who is to look out for as far as contenders for MLS Cup winners, Austin FC is on the list. So we got a brand new team, hasn't played a professional match in the MLS yet, and they're taking on a cup contender for the very first match. That's a big deal.
It really is. And you mentioned when they started, they were founded in 2018. They're a member of the Western Conference, and they began play in 2021. So they're fresh on the scene, but they've gotten their feet wet. They've had that calibration period that City's going to be going through. And Moon, we talk a lot about how wonderful the City organization has been and everything that has led up to tomorrow night. I mean, I cannot think of any organization that could have done a better job with every facet of the building of this, the deployment of it, the marketing, the intentionality, all of it. But what are your actual expectations as far as games go? Because this is a new group that is trying to find their identity and find their chemistry together. So what are your expectations as far as play?
I'd like to sit here and say that I'm all positive, but in all honesty, I'm just going to be honest. I'm really excited, but I'm equally nervous. We don't have a whole bunch of names. Honestly, if you're looking out there and you're looking for the star, the only star that we have as of right now is our goalie. And Berkey, he comes from a lot of play in Germany. The dude, he might be the highest paid goalie in the MLS. We paid a ton of money for this guy, and we're putting a lot on his shoulders. And honestly, I mean, I love the pressure, so I would love that in his shoes. But I wouldn't necessarily want to be him right now. And I'm going to say something that is going to catch a little heat, I'm sure. The MLS is not known for great defense. On occasion, we have some star players. They're typically midfielders or strikers. Our defenders are, in general, the MLS defense, it lacks here and there. So there's a ton of pressure on the goalies. So to put all the pressure on a star goalie to really keep a team alive, that doesn't happen very often. I believe the Philadelphia Union goalie last year was kind of somewhat single-handedly kept them in a lot of games they maybe shouldn't have been in. But to put all the pressure on our goalie without some real support is a lot. So I'm really hoping we see some outstanding plays from some players that we aren't really expecting it. We don't have that keystone star, that big giant name. So I will say that I'm nervous. Austin FC has a lot of good chemistry. When you watch all their stuff from last year, they've got a really good team put together. They got a couple really damn near star players if we're going there. As far as up top and in the midfield. I will say that one of the things that gives me a little bit of hope is at least Austin doesn't have a lot of tape to watch on us. There's a lot to prove. We'll see. I hope the City doesn't get discouraged if we come out with a few different losses. But press conference that happened earlier this week, Lutz and Coach Carnell were talking about really want to hit the ground running. They really want to come out good and fast. Their whole philosophy is based on this Midwestern vibe of modest, hardworking people, and they want to see modest, hardworking players on the field really giving it their all.
So I'm with you. I'm balancing my excitement and my trust level in this group because, as I said, they have executed everything flawlessly. So why wouldn't I think that they could field a team that's going to come out and be a winner right out of the gate, with the reality of this being something that's being built from the ground up? That's going to take some time. And I know that Rome wasn't built in a day. So if it takes a minute for them to find themselves, I think most of St. Louis is going to be on board. But I am tempering my expectations, at least for the first couple games. And Moon, I was reading all about Austin FC because they're the first opponent, right? Some fun facts about them, by the way. They play at Q2 Stadium in Austin. That's where the game is going to be. And their nickname is the Verde and the Black, or Los Verdes, because their colors are green and black, and there's a tree on their crest. So sometimes they're called the Oaks. So when I was reading about the Oaks, Moon, they deploy a play from the back system. And as we know from our conversations with Lutz and everything that Coach Carnell has said, St. Louis is a high pressing team. So maybe in this first game, that's where City can exert themselves. that they can kind of be ready to attack on any mistakes that Austin FC might have in that play from the back system. So just from a tactical standpoint, I know that you were talking about the Stars and Austin compared to a roster that's coming into its own, which to me means like a lot of opportunity for guys to make a name for themselves. But there could be tactically a way for City to kind of exert themselves in this game.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. Austin, like you mentioned, cool badge, cool colors. They got the support of Matthew McConaughey. I'm sure that gives them an extra point or two.
Totally.
But they do have an MVP candidate already kind of coming out. He's on the short list of MVP candidates. So you're going up against a lot with Austin. This is a heck of a first match. The coolest thing, though, and what to look forward to is the unpredictability of this league is pretty insane. Just think about this. The MLS Cup winners, there's been 9 different ones in the last 10 years. So the LAFC is trying to be the first repeat winner in 10 years. There's a lot of unpredictability. Plus, the MLS just released a whole change in the system of how the playoffs will go. There's like a wild card thing now with 8th and 9th place playing a one-off that goes into a series of 3. We'll get into that later in the season, but all I'm saying is it's gonna throw a lot of wrenches into the predictability. So if we come out blazing, great, but also tamper expectations. And if we come out a little slow, that's okay. I'm looking for a mid-table finish or better. If we get in the playoffs, that will be an absolute success for our first season. If we get playoffs, that will be an absolute success. If we get mid-table and we can see some improvements over the course of the 20, 30 weeks, I will feel great.
Same. If we're talking playoffs season 1, that is a major accomplishment.
Yeah, but there's fans that are like, we're going to win an MLS Cup the first season. And while that might be possible, it's not probable. As far as MLS Cup contenders go, they are saying LAFC has a great chance to repeat. Philadelphia Union, super hot. Austin FC, most lists have them third most probable to get that MLS Cup. Los Angeles Galaxy, they got Chicharito, and just a lot of goal scoring there. And FC Cincinnati is actually on the list. New York Red Bulls is looking as well. They've got a heck of a playoff streak, and they've disappointed in the past. And then you have the Seattle Sounders, who were quiet there for a bit, but they won the CONCACAF Champions League. So even though they've missed the playoffs in these seasons that they probably shouldn't have, they're on the board as well. Again, a lot of unpredictability.
A thought just popped in my head, Moon, about St. Louis sports fans. And Cardinals fans have standards that are to the moon. This is a crown jewel franchise. They are expected to win. Blues fans realize that it can take sometimes 50 plus years to win a cup. Okay. Blues fans are a little bit more on the other end of the spectrum where, yes, the expectations are high, but they know how hard it is to win. And the fact that both of these fan bases are existing in the same people, I wonder which side is going to come out when it comes to soccer. Is it going to be the high expectations, or is it going to be the, hey, it's really, really hard to win?
It's going to be a solid mix of both. We expect a lot, but let's be cool. Let's support our team no matter what. By the way, the St. Louis is in the West, obviously with the gateway to the West. There's East and there's West. There's 15 teams in one, 14 teams in the other. So it's uneven right now. So we're going to be playing all the Western teams, including Sporting KC. Don't forget, we now have an absolute rival. I don't know what we're calling the Derby game. Maybe it's the I-70 series, since that's what we do with the Royals and the Cardinals and everything. I'm not sure. But one of the matches, by the way, this weekend, speaking of like rivalries and things, is LA Galaxy versus LAFC. That's all happening at the Rose Bowl. That happens at 9:30 Eastern. So that's going to be 8:30 our time, kind of overlapping a little bit with our game here, February 25th. That is one of the key matches to watch if you're just getting into the MLS. Obviously, our match is the Philadelphia Union and Crew game, the LA versus LA. And then, of course, March 4th, seeing St. Louis City SC do the home opener against Charlotte. That's going to be wacky, man.
And if we're talking about dates to circle on the calendar, how about April 11th? It was just announced that the U.S. women's national team is going to be competing versus the Republic of Ireland at City Park, April 11th in St. Louis, 6:30 p.m. Central Time. And how cool is that, Moon? That was one of the things when the Taylor family, Carolyn Kindle Betts, and the entire City group were building the stadium. They wanted to attract really big events like that to happen at City Park. So the fact that the U.S. women's national team is going to be playing in St. Louis, pretty cool.
That is huge. I took the entire Rizzuto show to the match in Busch Stadium the last time the U.S. women's were here, and
Nice.
man, it was freaking awesome. It got them into soccer. It turned Riz completely around. He used the boring button about half the time I talked about soccer after that than he did before that. So that's a huge improvement. The U.S. women's national team changed everything as far as how the Rizzuto show faces soccer. And by the way, the U.S. has played Ireland 13 times, so 14-0 at City Park. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there you go. And shout out to U.S. women's national team captain Becky Sauerbrunn, who is a St. Louis native. It's going to be so cool to have her competing in her home city, and I'm sure she's going to get a lot of love.
It's going to be exciting. You going to make any of these matches? I know you were kind of up and down with your schedule. What's going on?
So I'm going to be home for that one. I'm hoping I can get tickets to that. I'm coming home in April, so I'm hoping to not only get to the U.S. women's national team game.
Speaking of that, St. Louis versus KC, we have a home match against KC on May 20th. So if you can get it to anyone, get to that one. We got to figure out what we're calling that. What we're calling that series.
I know we do. So I clicked on the wrong weekend. It's April 1st. That's the one I'm hoping to go to. Minnesota United in St. Louis. So hopefully we'll get to a game or two, hopefully when I'm there. I just think, Moon, back to when this was first conceptualized for St. Louis and all of the starting and stopping and MLS to the Lou and the first bid that didn't go through, and then the Kavanaughs and the Taylors coming in and being able to salvage this. And now looking at this beautiful park and this area and this entire new piece of our community that has formulated and grown is only going to continue to blossom and become a main part of the fabric of not only the sports scene in St. Louis, but St. Louis period. And I think about how badly we wanted it years ago. And it's amazing that we're at this juncture in this journey. And I just hope that when people get down there, especially this first season, that they really savor that this was a really, really, really long road for St. Louis. And it's amazing that we're here.
I can't believe it. I can't freaking believe it.
And you know what's going to be cool too, Moon? It's been a big cheerleading fest between you and I about everything up until this point. Now we're going to get a little critical because we're going to be breaking down some games.
Yeah, and I look forward to that. Like I said, I'm freaking nervous about this Austin match. The last couple highlight things that I was watching of Austin at the end of their last season and some of the preseason stuff. Damn, dude, they're solid. They're super solid, and I'm scared. I'll be honest. Berkey, dude, he's got his work cut out for him. Defense, help that guy. Help him. Possession, boys. Possession. I wish the Coach Carnell and Lutz a lot of luck, man. I wish them well. Bring us a show. You know what I mean? I'm
like, Austin FC is working from the back. St. Louis is pressing. Maybe they can exploit them. And you're like, Godspeed.
Yeah, dude. Go out there and work hard, please. And adjust. Honestly, this is going to show the coaching caliber of Carnell. I know he's done a lot of assistant coaching at different things, and he's got a couple different philosophies to mix here, and then obviously the expectations of how to blend it into the St. Louis fabric. But there's a lot of pressure on him as a coach because adjusting on the fly, adjusting mid-game, adjusting mid-season. Soccer is a chess match. It's not checkers. This is chess, not checkers. And that's going to be a big part of our season here.
Well, Moon, this is going to be fun. Again, for everybody who is wondering about the game, how to get the game, Saturday, St. Louis City SC at Austin FC. The game is at 7:30 Central, and it's on Apple TV. It's free, but you might as well just get the MLS season pass so that you don't miss 1 second of the action, because that's the worst thing is when you don't subscribe and then you're trying to find the game and then you're downloading it. Just go ahead right now. If you're listening to this, go ahead, get Apple TV, because the game is about to kick off, and we can't wait to watch it.
First home match is just a few days away, March 4th against Charlotte at City Park. I'm so excited, Michelle. But until then, man, go City, go!